think the biggest challenge in any area in law enforcement for a female is to have her male counterparts actually believe that she's qualified to handle the job. I never let somebody dictate what I could and could not do in this department. If there was an assignment that I felt I could do or was interesting to me, I always tried out for it. If I didn't get it, I went back and asked questions, why? Why didn't I get it? To see what I needed to do to enhance my ability to have the position. And I guess specifically, if they said a girl couldn't do it, I was going to do it. That is, when I first came on the police department, my first assignment was right back to the same housing project I grew up in. So at first, that was a little daunting to me. I was literally terrified. I cried for a week. I guess I ran into a couple of guys that I knew through my high school career who, you know, not bad kids, but, you know, they were guys that were on the other side a little bit. And the very first thing they did when they saw me was they just fell out laughing. They couldn't contain themselves. They were laughing so hard. I mean, literally, they had to lean up, and I was walking the beat in Dudley Station, and I hear these, Lisa, Lisa. And I'm like, oh God, oh God. And I turn around, and it's these two guys. So now they're like laughing hysterically. Well, then once, you know, the joke is over, and both of them said, you know, I'm really proud of you. You know, I'm really proud. You're a good example that, you know, anybody from here can do and be anything they want to. And, you know, they kind of say, you go ahead, girl, give me a pat on my back. So I guess after that, that took that edge off, or that fear, because here are two guys that are the antitheses of what police are. And they're giving me kudos, you know, like, I grew up in Orchard Park Housing Project in Roxbury. So I am a city kid, born and bred. So there were a lot of little kids that were still living in the project that knew me. So I love to go back. I used to like to go back and let them see me in uniform and see that, you know, I made it out, because that's what most people think, you know, I made it out of here and so can you. You know, we lived right at the Dudley train stop, and in the front of the projects, one of my girlfriends lived there, so they had a wall. We would sit there and you could see the train going back and forth downtown or whatever. And I used to always say, there's life beyond Dudley Station, girls, and I'm gonna find it. We need to get on this train and find out what's at each end of this train, because we have to get out of your little comfort zone. And, you know, every night I would come in and the same sergeant would have me on the desk clerk, and I was like, Sarge, I don't know how to type. I lied. I said, I took this job to become a police officer, so please don't put me inside anymore. It's not what I want to do. I'm not here to be taken care of. I took this position because I wanted to do things, to do better things out there. So that's where I want to be. And one thing I like to stress to young women is you don't have to be forced to take those jobs, because still in this day and age, and I just think by no fault of their own, men feel that they must protect women. And there are a lot of young female officers that come on and they automatically get stuck and pushed into these roles, and they're unhappy, but they don't feel that they have a voice to say, this is not what I want to do. And I like to let them know that you do have that ability. You can tell somebody, no, this is not what I want to do. One of the greatest weapons that police officers have is discretion. And we must be taught to use it to better society. We keep building jails and we keep locking people up, but we still have these basic core problems. So we need to not only focus on the legal aspects of what we do, but we have to be taught to focus on the sociological problems, particularly in hostile or volatile situations. Men charge right in and they want it like it's all brawn, and, you know, and women are going like, okay, which is the smallest one here? Okay, can I kind of talk my way out of this? You know, we're going to go in like, hey, wait a minute, what's going on? Well, why are you yelling? Let's everybody just calm down. So our approaches to law enforcement are much different, and they're very helpful, and when embraced totally by each side, they work well. They work very well together. I'm very proud of where this police department has come over the years. To see 4 women deputy superintendents and superintendents in this police department is historical. I can't remember a time when there was even more than one at a time. That's what I tell all the young women now. You see me here, you're happy I'm here, okay, now it's your turn. So it's time for you to step up, you know, get your game face on and get moving, because when I leave, one of you all has to take my place. So that's my motive right now, is to mentor young women.